Today I want to encourage you, may your faith be bigger than your fears. How is it we can do some amazing and sometimes unexplainable things, like heal our own bodies by the power of our thought? Mother's intuition, the law of attraction. Can we really tap into our subconscious mind? Can we really create our own realities? It begs the question, are we novice gods? Well, hello. Good to see you today. Today we are talking about faith. And we're talking about faith in relation to your fears. Now, I don't know where you're at right now. I don't know what's going on in your life. But I know life is hard a lot of times. Life can be really challenging. I've talked to a lot of people this last week who, holy cow, life is falling apart. Relationship issues are huge. Family issues are huge. Health is huge. And life can sometimes be quite a challenge. And faith can sure help you get through that. So I want to share 3 things with you today that hopefully will help you so that your faith can be bigger than your fears. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you is that faith is actually in opposition to fear. I had this pointed out to me years ago when somebody said that fear is really faith in reverse gear. I think that's so interesting. That means that really the 2 great powers in the world, in the universe, are really just one. It's just faith. Faith is what makes things happen. And if you are fearful, that is actually faith in reverse gear. You actually emotionalize and you worry and you create what you don't want to have happen. That's what fear does. Anyway, that's what we're studying here, is that we think maybe we have more power than we normally think we do, and that we can create outcomes in our lives, positive or negative. Well, fear is faith in reverse gear. It's believing in things that you don't want to have happen to you. So anyway, that's kind of the first thing, is as you look at may your faith be bigger than your fears. Look at where your fears are right now. What are you putting all of your emotional energy to? And then, as you think about that, realize that belief, faith, is a choice. And so you can absolutely shift this. You can figure out, okay, this is not serving me, this belief, this fear, and you can shift it, turn it into something positive. But the first thing is to recognize it, and to recognize that fear is separate from faith. Okay, now the next thing that I want to talk to you about is, what did you do when you were like 3 years old, when you were afraid? How did you respond? Did you shrink? Did you get really small? Did you go hide under your bed? Did you do anything you could do to be smaller than your real self so that you could hide and so that you would be safe? Are you still doing that? I know I am, or at least I do from time to time. The way we respond to fearful situations is often to live small, to live smaller than ourselves, to hide, to, try and blend in, to try and be like everyone else. Anything we can do so that we don't stand out, we're not noticed, we're not seen. Well, think about how that's serving you or not serving you. If you want to live as the fullest expression of yourself, you need to stand up. You need to be counted. You need to not give counsel to your fears, or not take counsel from your fears. Don't let them dictate how your life is. So when you recognize that you're feeling anxiety or fear, notice that it makes you constrict. And then you can choose to deliberately do some things that will help you relax. You can meditate, you can focus, you can change, you can use some affirmations. You can do different things that we share along this series about how you can change things to really focus on what you want to create in your life. So anyway, that's kind of the second step, is really look at how you're responding to fear, things that scare you, things that frighten you, and realize that constricting is not how you want to be. I don't have that quote in front of me, and right now I'm not remembering it very well, but you've probably heard it before. This is our greatest fear, is not that, I can't remember that. Our greatest fear is not that something. Our greatest fear is that we are more powerful than we imagine. You know the quote I'm talking to you about? I'll see if I can find it and I'll add it to the show notes. But that is one of our fears. And I think often we live small and we play small because we're afraid of this power that is within us. Well, I hope you recognize who you are, you recognize your true identity, and learn to live up to that so that you can get over your fears. Now, step number 3 is to recognize who you truly are. You have forgotten who you are. Now, I don't say this is a condemning thing. You didn't do anything wrong. We've all forgotten who we are. And I find it interesting. Now that I'm a parent, I look at life really differently. When my kids were small, holy cow, they ran around. They had just abundant personalities and abundant, courage and creativity. They could do anything. They were amazing. They spoke what came to their mind, which, sometimes maybe they shouldn't have said all those things. But they were just these amazing, full, vibrant spirits. And I love that. I loved how I felt around them because I felt more alive when I was around them. And I love my kids. I absolutely love them, and I love how they're turning out and how smart and brilliant they are. At the same time, I look at who they were, and I realize that even though right now they are living just these fantastic lives, I know that they're just kind of the shell of who they used to be. Because they have given in to their fears. They are afraid to talk to people a lot of times. They are afraid to be themselves. They blend in and they do things that everyone else does so that, they don't stand out. And I just think about them when they were 2 or 3 years old and just the vibrant personalities and characters and people that were so full of life that they were. And I realized I would love to be like that. I think that's why Christ said to be as a little child. If we can remember who we are, and it may take a while to really get, conscious about who we are in our life. If we can remember who we are and live as the fullest expression of ourselves, the kinds of lives that we could live. So those are kind of 3 things that you can do in your life so that your faith will be bigger than your fears. I wanted to share one last story with you. And this ties in with finding out who you are, remembering who you are, finding your identity. I believe that we are children of God, and I believe that we have His divine DNA. And as we do have that, it means we can be much more than we are now. So 4 years ago next month, I was in Las Vegas, and I had lunch with a guy named David Corbin. Now, David Corbin was a national speaker. He was on the stage all over the U.S. and all over the world. Fantastic guy. And he started to share with me a story about before he was a great speaker. He said that he felt in his heart called to it, that he knew he needed to be a speaker, but he didn't know how and he didn't know what to do, and he was terrified to be up in front of people. He said he went to one of those Toastmasters meetings, but he sat at the very back just in case he passed out. He wanted the paramedics to be able to get there, get in the door, and revive him quickly. Well, as he's sharing all of these things, I'm listening to my heart and I'm thinking about what I want to do and what I feel called to do. And I felt very similar to this. I was terrified at this conference, just living in absolute fear of, oh my gosh, what if I needed to speak on stage or in front of a group of people? That just absolutely mortified me. But at the same time, there was something there that seemed to call to me. And then he shared this story. He looked around the room. The room was full of, 500, 800 people. And he pointed to this thing on the wall. It's one of those, do you call them a defibrillator? They're the things that you put on someone's chest, to shock them back into life if they've had a heart attack or something like that. And he said, what if you knew how to use that? What if you knew how to operate one of those and somebody here was having a heart attack and you didn't do anything about it because you were afraid of being noticed or being seen? And it stung, as I'm listening to that, it just stung because I thought of the things that I knew. the things that I have experienced just in this short time of kind of becoming awake and conscious about what's going on in life. But I wondered what would happen if God gave me a gift and I was unwilling to receive it. I was unwilling to open it and to develop it. And so I hope as you kind of think about where you're at, and maybe your fears are really big right now and your faith is really small, there are things you can do to grow your faith. I know that's true. I know that you can be bigger. I know that you can live as the fullest expression of yourself. And I know that inside you have this amazing capability. You have a gift that you need to share with others. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you truly are inside? Are you willing to work at remembering that, at developing the skills and the talents within you? I hope you do. I hope your faith is much stronger than your fear. I hope you keep that faith in a positive gear so that you can move forward. I believe that you are a novice God. I believe you're a God in training and that you have the opportunity right now, today, to level up, to unlock more capabilities within you. I sure hope you do that. Are you looking to make the world a better place? Visit me at scottwilhite.com and sign up to become an Impact Insider. I'll keep you updated on the topics and ideas that may help you become your best, true, full self.